Hi again folks, how you all doing? So a layout update, and the first one of 2024. Yeah, it seems ages since I did a last layout update, but just been really busy. A lot of people have asked how my wife's doing with her broken arm. Yeah, she's an awful lot better. She's able to do most things herself now, so things are pretty much getting back to normal, thankfully. The last layout update I did, which was last year, I had all this area here plastered up, ready for adding the landscaping, which I've now done, as you can see. So the sheep are back, the healing coos have settled in, and there's geese or swans, I'm not sure what they are, in the stream there. I'm about to paint the fencing, and the road needs a second coat of paint. It's been painted with a very dark grey just now, but it'll get painted with a lighter grey, and then I'll rub over it with a very fine sandpaper just to give it some texture. I've still to add a lot more bushes and trees and foliage, but I'll very shortly be moving on to the viaduct part here, and then once that's done, I'll move on to the final area. Backdrops will be going in soon too, and I think that'll make a lot of difference, so watch out for that soon. But yeah, I haven't actually spent an awful lot of time on the layout this past month or two, but it's getting there. The stream was just sculpted into the plaster, and then I painted it with black, brown and white acrylic paint, and then go over it with a high gloss varnish. I used this stuff, just gives a nice gloss shine to it, so it makes it look kind of wet. Still got a wee bit to do to this, but it's very difficult to model water. A couple of people have asked about the lift out section, if it's working out okay. Yeah, it is. I've had no problems with it whatsoever. I just give it a brush out now and again, just to make sure no dust or particles, stop the contact. But yeah, it's working fine. So when it comes to landscaping this final section, I've not actually given a great deal of thought in any detail about what I'm going to do with it. I'm certainly going to have a hill here, and this end of the shuttle, the trains will just disappear into that tunnel mouth. So this is going to give me a bit of landscape for modelling some. I'm kind of thinking maybe a farm actually on here. But what I'm going to do everywhere else, I'm not too sure. I think I'm going to have a road coming down into there, which will join onto this road section here into the station. But what I'm going to do in the corner there and everything, I'm really not too sure. We'll play it by ear and see what happens. Now then, the APT that I've been meaning to do a video on for ages, but I thought I might as well just cover it in this video. So I picked this old Horby APT up at the Paisley show last year. It was in a bit of a state, but it was going cheap, and I thought it would be fun to see if I could sort it out and run it on the layout occasionally. Yeah, little did I know, and I kind of wished I'd put it down and walked away. So I serviced the motor, and then when I tried to run it, it was derailing all over the place. I fitted new wheels to the front bogies of each lead car, as both were wobbling a bit, but it still derailed. I adjusted the lighting pickup wires on the front bogies, and that seemed to sort the derailing for a bit, but not for long. So I decided to replace the wiring for the lights with softer, thinner wire, as it seemed to me that the wires were restricting the movement of the tilting action going around the corners, and that was causing the derailing. That seemed to do the trick, but I simply could not get the lighting to work very well at all. The lights just constantly flickered or didn't work at all when they were in corners, which was really annoying, as I'd figured out how to wire the lights up to be directional as well. So I got a set of LED replacements, but they still flickered and still didn't work going around corners very well. I cleaned the axles, I cleaned the pickups, tried everything, but to no avail, and the lights just would not work as they're supposed to. It then started derailing again, and at that point I ripped out the lights to get rid of the wires, because I was convinced that was why it was derailing. It was still interfering with the movement of the bogie. So I ripped out the lights, and I fitted battery powered magnetic switched LEDs. Now these work fine with no flickering, but of course I've got to manually turn them on and off, and the batteries won't last that long, so it's not ideal, but it does give me the option to run the APT with working lights The main drawback is they're not directional, so I've got a front car and a rear car, the front car having the white lights and the rear car the red lights. But at least it was working, but then it started having pickup issues and the power car started derailing as well. At this point, I seriously considered doing an APT destruction video where I took the entire thing out into my garden and smashed it to bits with a hammer. But I filed the plastic parts with the bodies where they slide on the bogies during tilting and greased them with silk and grease. And I adjusted the back-to-back on the power car and fitted a guitar string pickup to the non-powered bogie, and that seems to have sorted it for now. I got a replacement pantograph for it and I painted up the interiors a little just to mask the horrible dull flesh colour that the lead cars had. And then as I was filming this video, it suddenly started being reluctant to run. It would just sit there pulling amps on the ammeter. So I took the motor apart again and I found that the main bearing is loose in the motor casing. Now that's not good because it introduces wobble on the armature, which generates noise, and it can cause the armature to lock up, which is why it was refusing to run and maxing out the amps. So I'm far from out of the woods with this APT. I think I'll try fitting a CD motor, but it'll have to be a good one. So the saga of this APT continues, but at the moment it's still just the bench money. So there we are, that's you up to date with where I am with the layout. I'm looking forward to getting the viaduct section done and getting on to the last section to be landscaped. So I'll do another layout update on progress with that soon, hopefully. Okay, so some of you maybe noticed that I now have over 10,000 subscribers. So thank you very, very much to everyone who has subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Doesn't cost anything, just hit the button below. But yeah, I remember thinking I was doing well getting 500 subscribers. Never thought for a minute I'd get anything like 10,000, so yeah, a bit crazy. So I've been thinking about ideas for future videos, and yeah, I fully intend to do something on Ringfield motors and something on split chassis Bachmann models. But I'd welcome any suggestions from you guys about any subjects you'd like to see me cover, whether it's specific models or specific types of models, or I know a lot of you have asked for a kind of rundown on all the materials and tools I use, so I'll maybe get to that at some point. I really want to build a new workstation first before I make that particular video. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you would like me to cover and I'll see what I can do. Model Rail Scotland is on at the end of this month. Weather permitting, I plan to be there on the Saturday, probably arriving in the morning at some point. So if you're going to be there around that time and you see me, please do say hello. It's my birthday next month, so I'll be on the lookout for a birthday present for myself and just whatever else I can pick up. But I enjoyed Model Rail Scotland last year, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, hopefully see some of you there. Meantime, catch you later, folks.